Hello and welcome. I am Josh Widdicombe. For today, I'm the curator of a place of incredible artefacts and exhibitions, a place that stores the greatest thing on earth. This is my Museum of Pop Culture.
You have been warned is the message to video retailers from the Director of Public Prosecutions. If you stock any of the 62 titles on a list circulated by Scotland Yard, you could end up in court.
So, we come to the end of Mary Whitehouse and Video Nasties. What do you think of her as a person so far? Repellent? Annoying? A misjudged hero?
Yeah, I think the homophobia, the anti-homosexuality thing, it's sort of, you can't really get beyond it, can you?
No, that's the worst thing.
I think, I'm always suspicious because it still happens to this day. The moralising around, we've got to think of the children, let's protect the children,
Yeah.
Obviously, I think you do have to protect children, but I don't think, banning drag story time is the way to do it.
Yeah.
So I think she paved the way for that kind of insidious thinking.
Yes, she did. And she also paved the way for these people that become single-issue life-living obsessives.
Yeah.
I won't name any, but we're probably both thinking the same person.
Sure.
From our industry. But do you know what I mean? These people that feel their whole life must become this moral crusade of putting their view above. Yeah, anyway. But I think it's worth examining a film that was incredibly controversial, that whether it created crimes or not was certainly cited in crimes, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
Nikki and Mallory. Feared by thousands.
I love you so much, baby.
I love you.
Watched by millions.
We're fate. Can't stop fate. Nobody can. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone or something.
Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis, Robert Downey Jr., and Tommy Lee Jones.
What do you have to say to your fans?
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Natural-born killers. In the media circus of life, they were the main attraction.
And I wasn't really aware of this until I read up on it, like what had happened. But so I'm presuming you have seen Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, I've seen Natural Born Killers, yeah.
Did you go out and commit any murders?
No, I managed to view it as it was intended, I believe, which was not a manifesto, but more of a satire.
And was it good?
It's very all over the place, I think.
Yeah.
There's really, really, really good bits in it, but I don't think as a film, on the whole, it's as successful as it would like to be.
Yes, well,
Aren't we all?
Well, yeah, aren't we all? So Oliver Stone was the director, and he's actually said that he thinks Stanley Kubrick was wrong to withdraw A Clockwork Orange. He said if it wasn't an admission of guilt, it was at least an admission of embarrassment. I'm a big fan of Kubrick, but he was a paranoid man. He reacted to the hysteria of the mob. He crumbled when he should have stood up and defended his work.
Fair enough, but if you're literally having your kids being threatened, you think,
exactly.
Just anything for an easy life, really.
I can still watch it.
Yeah. I bet he had a couple of copies he lent around to his mates.
So Natural Born Killers was a American kind of crime film about a kind of modern Bonnie and Clyde. Is that a fair description of the situation?
Yeah, it's young, insane lovers who go on a spree.
Yes. And it's based on a screenplay by Quentin Tarantino.
How many of them are there? That's how he manages to make so many fantastic movies. There's 25 of them.
And some bad ones.
Yeah.
It's based on the screenplay by Tarantino, but the script's revised by Oliver Stone and the writer David Velos. And the original writer, Tarantino's, is left with just a story credit.
Yeah, he kind of disavowed it as well, didn't he? He said it wasn't his.
He said initially he had no animosity towards the film and the director and wished it good success at the box office. Then he went to publish the original screenplay, and the producer of Natural Born Killers tried to sue him, saying he'd forfeited publishing rights when he sold the script. And at that point, he disowned the film and urged fans to avoid it at all costs, denouncing it and saying, I've hated that fucking movie. If you like my stuff, don't watch that movie. So it's a bit of a grayer area than just he didn't like the film, but maybe he didn't like the film anyway.
Sure.
So it's defined by Entertainment Weekly as the 8th most controversial film of all time. I imagine you've seen the full top 10.
I'm sure I have, yeah. I love lists like that, which are just utterly pointless, but really fun.
He really says, having worked in publishing briefly, It really says, we haven't got a good enough cover star this month. Let's do the 50 greatest British albums of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4 will shock you.
Yeah. Travis have dropped out. They couldn't do the cover of Select.
Fran's got the flu.
Yeah, exactly. Fran's got the flu. Fran's Fludenand. Banned in Ireland, and it was...
Sorry, I thought you were still talking about the front cover of Q. Abandoned Island, maybe? Can we get you two on the phone? But no, sorry, you've moved on now. Natural Born Killers was banned in Ireland, sorry.
Denied distribution in the United States. That's the magazine as well. But people will buy it, mail order, I imagine. But they just won't shop it in Hudson. Newsagent, Barnes and Noble. In the United States, the most violent bits were edited out. The BBFC in the UK ultimately released it uncut, as an 18, obviously, a bit late. That was what they decided to do. They kind of dragged their feet and released it 6 months later.
Fair enough. That's fine. You can wait for it.
In 1995, and then videoed 2001.
That's mad, isn't it, that it took that long between...
Yeah.
Do you remember when everything used to take ages? I know this is such an old man thing to say, but you'd hear about a film coming out in the States, then 6 months later you got to watch it. Then maybe a year later, you could get it on a VHS. Yeah. And then a year after that, it'll be on the telly. And that's when you'd see it.
Well, it was exciting when it went on the telly.
Yeah. And now a film comes out on the same day as it goes on Netflix. And they're like, if you want to go to the cinema and spend 14 quid on it, or you can watch it in your living room.
I got the Christmas Radio Times, and it's like got all the Christmas movies that are on. You're like, you can't still be doing this.
Yeah, that's true.
These are all on all the time whenever you want to be. What is on BBC One as a film?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're showing Home Alone. It's simply, he's neither here nor there.
Because I've probably got 4 or 5 different streamers that I'm paying for that have all got Home Alone on them.
Yeah, exactly. 2 of which I don't even know that I'm paying for anymore.
Yeah.
So the initial response to Natural Born Killers, very enthusiastic, goes to the top of the US box office. Variety say it's the most hallucinatory and anarchic picture made at a major Hollywood studio in the last 20 years. Psychedelic documentary on the American cult of sex, violence and celebrity. But then it kind of turns. Film producer, member of the House of Lords, David Putnam, who's previously worked with Stone on Midnight Express, he describes it as loathsome. Daily Mail say it's evil, but that's the Daily Mail.
Of course.
If ever a film deserved to be banned, it concluded this is it. Oliver Stone later said, the reaction of our culture to violence is more extreme than it's ever been. And then he used what I would describe as a bad example.
Okay.
Just look at the events of September the 11th. I think the media overreacted to it.
No, Oliver. Don't pick that one.
Like, just like they overreacted to my little film. Come on, Oliver. There's no parallel.
I don't think comparing yourself to Osama bin Laden. I'm sort of like the Osama bin Laden of directors.
Yeah.
Everyone just needs to chill out about all the stuff I've done. No, that's mad. Use an example of like another violent movie from the past as opposed to an actual act of violence where lots of people died.
Yeah. So this is why this is interesting, right? Because I didn't really realise there's loads of crimes where it's cited in it. Obviously, did these people commit the crimes because of Natural Born Killers? The argument is probably no. But it's difficult to read these things, right? So Sarah Edmondson and Benjamin James Darras, in March 1995, they watched the film. And then 2 days later, they killed a cotton mill manager. And then they shot a woman called Patsy Byers. She survived the attack and she was rendered quadriplegic. She was a friend of John Grisham, the best-selling author. He publicly accuses Oliver Stone of being irresponsible in making the film, stating the filmmakers should be held accountable, right? They take legal action against Edmondson and Darras, who committed the crime, and then she amends the lawsuit to include Stone and Time Warner.
Oh, wow, right. It's so murky, isn't it? It's so sticky because obviously that is a horrifying crime.
Yeah.
You feel like obviously the killer's the one's responsible. That's it.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's kind of how this ends up, right?
Right, yeah.
January 1997, on the grounds that filmmakers and production companies are protected by the First Amendment, the case is dismissed. There's an appeal which overturns the decision, saying it did have a case. Byers actually then later that year dies of cancer, and then 4 years later the case is dismissed, that there's no evidence that Time Warner and Stone had intended to incite violence.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's a quote from Stone, once you're judging movies as a product, you are truly living in hell. What are the implications for freedom of speech? You wouldn't have any film of stature being made ever again. So in a better comparison than earlier, he compares the lawsuit to the case of Dan White, an ex-policeman who shot San Francisco politician Harvey Milk in 1978. There's a film about that, haven't there?
Sean Penn plays Milk. Yeah.
He used what's known as the Twinkie defense. Are you aware of this?
Yeah, he claimed he'd gone insane from overindulgence with fast food products, effectively, didn't he? Yeah, I remember this.
And it worked, according to Stone. He got away with a lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter, served 5 years. And Stone says you can't blame the Twinkies in the same way that you can't scapegoat the movies.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting it's a much more extreme case than the Mary Whitehouse things. And then, and this is just so bleak, but it's worth discussing, or at least saying, and we don't need to come down with a definitive view on these things.
Okay.
The Columbine High School massacre in April 20th, 1999, which was obviously horrific. 12 students and a teacher killed by 2 students. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold both commit suicide. They're both fans of natural born killers. Prior to the massacre, they'd used the initials MBK as their code. And Harris has referred to April 20th as the holy April morning of MBK. And Klebold wrote, "I'm stuck in humanity. Maybe going MBK with Eric is the way to break free." So, I mean, at the least, it must bring you up short as a filmmaker when that's being mentioned. It's really weird, isn't it? It's awful.
Well, it's horrible, but I think you have to, as a filmmaker, and I think Oliver Stone is this kind of filmmaker where you have to have...
He doesn't give a fuck, does he?
Well, he doesn't give a fuck. That's one way of looking at it. But the confidence in your intent and the...
I meant he doesn't give a fuck in a good way. What I meant was...
Yeah. But you have to have the confidence in your intent and knowing what you're satirising and not in any way seeing it as a piece of work that is intended... It's not a kit to educate people on how to become a murderer.
And there's lots of these things where you go, it's not just that they've watched this film and then that's happened. Do you know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah, I'm sure if you went back through these people's histories, you wouldn't go, they were totally, clean living. I don't want to say anything about these people's characters, but, it wasn't that one day a switch flipped in their brain because they listened to a Marilyn Manson record or watched Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, of course. But this is part of the whole debate and it's interesting, but it's not as funny as Mary Whitehouse.
No, it's not at all.
It's crucially... It's not as much of a laugh as Mary Whitehouse showing a porno to the Pope.
No. It has to be mentioned, but we can move along from it now.
So what happens, right? In the 80s with these video nasties, there's this vague Obscene Prosecutions Act of 1959 that came in for Lady Chatterley's Lover, but it's not really doing the job. So they bring in the Video Recording Act, 1984, which requires all films for home video release to be classified by a designated body. And in 1983, in the build-up to this, the Scala Cinema, I wonder if that's the same Scala Cinema.
The one that showed Clockwork Orange and got closed down?
Yeah, I've got no idea if that's the same Scala Cinema. But it ran an all-day event called Shock Around the Clock. You'd have loved this, Crosby.
What was it called?
Shock Around the Clock, where it screens video nasties such as the Evil Dead Driller Killer in a fight back against the incoming ban. That probably gives them the confidence to do the Clockwork Orange thing that brings them crumbling to their knees.
Absolutely,
It's the same place. Let us know. And then this Video Recording Act is pushed through by a Tory MP called Graham Bright, who is just the absolute example of a backbench busybody, right? So he was a Tory MP 79 to 97.
By the way, backbench busybody was another video nasty.
Yeah, that was another video nasty. 79 to 97, so he's basically the whole of that period when the Tories were in power. And he is only really known for 2 things. One is this, the Video Recordings Act. He otherwise led a career of total insignificance as a backbencher, right? And there's this great clip where he says video nasties aren't just harmful to humans, they are also harmful to any dogs that may see them.
Not a cat owner, clearly.
No, exactly. Well, they're quite free-willed cats.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think cats are going to get influenced. But he pushes this through, the Video Recordings Act 1984. It's introduced, passed into law by Thatcher's government, and it means every VHS tape has to be classified by the BBFC. And that excludes sport and music concerts. So he makes a speech in Parliament with it where he says, which is 18, material applies to the blue movies. Whether we like it or not, many people enjoy watching such films. I'd never watched a blue movie, but I must admit that when I was in Sweden, I was led astray by some Swedish politicians.
Those dirty, permissive Swedes.
Yeah, and I did not enjoy the experience at all.
I didn't enjoy it the first time or the second time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I definitely didn't enjoy it the third time. I was knackered.
I have no wish to see blue movies. I acknowledge that some of my honourable friends may wish to do so. Clause 4 allows for such safeguards. And then there's an interruption. He says, perhaps I'd better get on with my speech. I love the idea of you've gone to Sweden to see some politicians about something, and they've popped on a bluey.
They popped on a little bluey.
They've finished their chat and they've gone, shall we all watch it?
They've gone, listen, we've had the formalities now. Let's get to
We've done the trade deal. That's sorted.
Listen, let's all have some pickled herring and watch two people absolutely going at each other. Surely. Let's watch people going hammer and tongs.
But do you know what?
In a sauna.
To give Graham Bright his due, if I went for a business meeting with some people and at the end they popped on a bluey, I wouldn't enjoy the experience.
Are we not going to do that at the end of this?
No,
that was my plan.
At the end of this, it would be absolutely awful.
If I said, I've got this little tape I've wanted to show you.
So the BBFC is given the power to deny films classification, therefore making it illegal for them to be sold or distributed. And those involved can be prosecuted. Around this time, basically the UK's now got some of the most stringent censorship laws in the Western world, which is amazing considering previously a Danish filmmaker was coming over to make a
Coming over to lawless Britain.
But the problem is, inevitably banning these films make them must-watches for horror fans. And so you get an underground trade in these films. The back of the video store, and basically police start raiding video stores, right?
It's so mad, isn't it? It's so crazy. And also, these are films, they're fake films.
They're quite cartoony as well. Do you know what I mean? They're quite silly. Well, not silly, but I haven't seen Gestapo's Last Orgy. But like, they're not serious films. That sounds unfair. But do you know what I mean? They're not films that no one's watching, Gestapo's Last Orgy and surely being influenced by it, aren't they?
No. I would guess if I say most people aren't watching Gestapo's Last Orgy.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Even you've not seen it. You're a completist.
Well, I will after this, but yeah.
Also under this, it's quite interesting. This is what leads to the film classifications that you and I know so well and love. The U, PG, and then in 1989, 12 is. So this is where all of those things that we remember from our childhood come from.
Of course, yeah.
From Graham Bright's 1984 thing. So this basically puts everything onto James Furman, who's the director of the BBFC in this time, from 1975 to 1999. And it's his decision what is allowed now. And it's the classic situation. Everyone in the public finds themselves in these situations. He's considered both too strict and too liberal, depending on which side you're on.
Of course, yeah.
The classic situation where if you are doing something in the public, everyone thinks you're against them. There's an inbuilt negativity that whatever someone's political views, they believe the BBC is weighted against their political views. And I'm not saying which I believe,
Well, because both people are right, aren't they?
Yeah.
And both people are wrong. It's like, it's the BBC are always too left-wing or too right-wing. There's very few people in the world who think, do you know what's the most perfectly balanced news organisation, the BBC? No one really thinks that.
But the truth is, it probably is.
It probably is.
So this guy, James Furman, he's worked with Spielberg to trim Indiana Jones to make sure it's a PG. He does do a awful quote when it comes to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Go on.
It's all right for you middle-class cineasts to see this film, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is what he's alleged to say. But what would happen if a factory worker in Manchester happened to see it? Oh, no.
You total snob.
James, you absolute plonker.
You absolute class plonker.
Yeah. He's obsessed with weapons in films, James Furman. And it's under his watch that the use of nunchucks is not allowed in films in the UK. He hates nunchucks.
Bad news for Bruce Lee.
This is why Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon is rebranded as Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, and Michelangelo's nunchucks are replaced with a stick. So that is due to his obsession with nunchucks.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, it's funny because the sticks that Michelangelo's using, he's still using them to beat people up.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like there's levels of acceptable beating up.
Yeah.
You can't hit someone with two sticks on a chain, but if you remove the chain and make the stick a bit longer, crack over the head, that's fine.
And so he does this, and to be honest, it does bring an end to it because it just kind of, there's a thing about moral panics. They kind of blow up and then just the next thing comes along and people just move on. There's never really like the situation where you go, oh, and then this law comes in, it leads to people getting raided and the thing just kind of stops being news. which is a really weird kind of resolution to it.
Yeah, it never kind of completely goes away and everyone goes, right, we'll never make one of those anymore. Or, it never gets to a point where we're just in a totally permissive society where suddenly everybody's walking around covered in gore and viscera and stabbing each other.
People get interested in, like in the late 80s, in rave culture. Do you know what I mean? That becomes the thing, or it just happens.
I think the two big things in the 80s were there was rave culture, but also satanic panic as well. That was the other thing, like heavy metal albums with backwards messages.
And so Mary plows on and she just moves on to more and more topics. So she hates EastEnders. She fucking hates EastEnders.
And this is back in the 80s when it was good.
Yeah, well, it's getting 30 million people for its first Christmas special, right? She doesn't like the bad language. She complains that there's... I mean, come on.
What bad language?
Bleeding, bloody hell, bastard, and kicking the crutch. Come on.
So mild, isn't it?
It's so mild. She wanted broadcasting to go through the Obscene Publications Act so that people could bring prosecutions against programmes. And it goes through the Commons. When it first votes go through, Thatcher votes in favour of it, but the bill is eventually canned. And with the end of the Obscene Publications Act in TV, that kind of ends Thatcher's relationship with Mary Whitehouse. Their ideologies no longer aligning. I think the thing with Margaret Thatcher is really that's not her main drive in the same way Mary Whitehouse's is. And so the absolute victory of free market capitalism comes first to Margaret Thatcher, I'd imagine.
Always been her big thing.
It's always been her big thing. And it always will be.
Whereas Mary Whitehouse is just adamant that no one should see a bum on the television.
No one should see a bum. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher hates socialism. Mary Whitehouse hates bums.
Fair enough.
She retires when she's 93, and Ernest dies in July 2000. Mary dies in 2001. Her archive is moved to Essex University, where the students had once picketed her front garden.
I'd love to get that. Wouldn't you love to get your hands on that archive? I bet it's absolutely disgusting.
It's a really great book that I'd recommend if you're into Mary Whitehouse. I mean, if you've come this far. But, I mean, I don't know whether you want any more on Mary Whitehouse than this. But there is a book which is a collection of her letters.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so that is available if you want it. But obviously, a lot of her stuff looks insane now. EastEnders, although it is in a bit of a funk. Homophobia is obviously just the worst thing about her. But in recent years, there has been a softening because her kind of insistence the BBC should be accountable to the public, that's now widely accepted.
Yeah.
And she was quite progressive on pornography in a weird way because she used the term sexploitation to talk about big business and pornography. And she said pornography is the dirty face of capitalism.
That's fair.
Yeah. And listen to this quote about technology that she made in 1975. May I be the first to share my fear that technology is overstepping itself. It does seem, to the lay mind, that the power of computer technology can reach a point where a man is incapable of arresting the forces he has released. So she's basically predicted AI there.
Yeah.
But let's not give her that.
No one, like the little clip of David Bowie does the rounds all the time on Instagram. Where's the clip of Mary Whitehouse saying the same thing?
Exactly.
The internet's going to change the world.
So what do you think about Mary Whitehouse coming to the end of talking about her?
Yeah, again, I mean, I
don't like her.
I don't like her, and I don't
agree with her methods or her views.
She reminds me a lot of the people that used to go to the church I grew up in, right?
Right.
And they would always be, you sort of think, just look after yourself a little bit. Just make sure you're all right, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's wanting to recruit people to your cause, which is, hey, let's all love each other because Jesus loved us, right? That's fine. But then there is wanting to shut down everybody else's good time.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like there was a lot of that. I remember when there was planning permission for like a strip club to open in Bromley and the church were really upset about it. And I, as a teenager, thought it was hilarious. I mean, to be honest, I've never been to a strip club.
No.
Well, there was once I was with some Swedish MPs, and but I don't really talk about that.
I hated that.
I didn't enjoy a second of it. But I sort of thought, this doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect us. And it's not going to be the moral collapse of Bromley. So just let it go.
Bromley's gone already.
Bromley's gone since David Bowie moved out, started going on the internet.
Graham Bright, the MP, he disappears to the backbenches again until 1990 and the Acid House raves when he comes back.
Of course.
He's in 808 state. No, bit of fun.
He's there on the backbenches gurning his face off.
He incredibly, the other thing he knows is he does another private members bill outlining unlicensed raves. This guy loves a fucking moral panic.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
So he brings that in, which brings in fines and prison and all that kind of stuff. He's that kind of knobhead. So Parliament later realises how clumsy that legislation was, the rave legislation, and it's repealed in 2003 after taking effect. And then in 2009, it's discovered that the Video Act that he did, the Video Recordings Act, was unenforceable due to a mistake informing the European Commission. So basically, that's wrong as well. So a new version, in essence the same bill, is fast-tracked back into legislation. And the opportunity to overhaul it is wasted because they just rush it back into legislation.
So what year is this?
That was 2009, so that would have been Gordon Brown.
Right, so way after it's been a hot button issue.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we better sort this out. 2009.
Yeah, I know.
They were like, we've got to sort out these VHS cassettes. It's 2009, guys. If you go into a newsagent's now and ask them for a naughty video, they will sell you one.
Gordon Brown would have been to Sweden by that point.
Gordon Brown would have been all over Sweden, of course he would.
The current president of the BBFC, do you know who it is?
No, I don't know.
Natasha Kaplinsky, the BBC journalist.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her. So is it her signature at the start of a film?
It must be, yeah.
Never noticed that.
So the films that have been prosecuted for obscenity, they basically wouldn't be considered for release until the obscenity convictions were overturned. So they weren't available for close to 20 years, but a significant number of them that were deemed video nasties can be bought fully now, remastered.
Great.
Luxury box sets.
Yeah.
A lot of them are on YouTube or streaming websites. I've got bad news.
No.
Nazi sex film Love Camp 7 is still denied a certificate.
That's such a shame because there were so many questions at the end of Love Camp 6.
There were, but you'll never know.
So many loose ends that we want to see tied up.
And so you get this interesting situation where the BBFC has to watch every film that goes out, right?
Yeah. God, what a job.
So I'd like to tell you about, to add a film from 2023. So Charlie Shackleton, who's like an independent filmmaker, he was quite annoyed at this for two reasons. Number one is obviously censorship.
Yep.
And number two is it costs a lot of money for you to pay to have your film checked. So that's fine if it's a major Hollywood film company that has to pay a couple of grand. But he did a kind of independent film and he had to pay $867.90 for them to watch it and rate it because it's done on how long they have to sit there for. And that's half of his distribution budget. So he was angry at this.
Oh, no. Yeah, of course.
So as a protest, he started a Kickstarter. He shot 14 hours of footage of white paint drying on a wall.
Great.
Yeah. In an undisclosed location. I don't know why he needed to undisclose it. And they did a Kickstarter, and however much he raised, that would be how long the film he would submit to them was.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So he got 686 backers and raised £5,936. So that meant that paint drying the film came out at a rather generous 12 hours, 11 minutes.
It's like those Andy Warhol movies. You know Andy Warhol?
Well, yeah, of course.
He made those long films of like someone asleep and they would last for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Do you know the story? This is talking to David Bowie. Do you know the story? You know the song Andy Warhol by David Bowie?
Yeah.
It's got the line, tie him up when he's fast asleep.
Yeah.
So basically, Andy Warhol had never seen his own movies because they were too long.
Right, yeah.
Someone else filmed them. Someone else looped them. They were Andy Warhol movies.
Yeah.
And he was having an argument with someone and they said, your films are unwatchable. And he went, no, they're not. They're definitely watchable. So when Andy fell asleep, they literally tied him up, woke him up. They tied him to a chair and one of his films was playing.
Oh, wow.
And they came back a few hours later and he chewed through the ropes.
No.
Yeah, and he's escaped.
That's incredible. Well, we'll do Andy Warhol one day.
We should do. He's a brilliant figure.
So it was 12 hours, 11 minutes, but then it was reduced to 10 hours, 7 minutes after Kickstarter fee and VAT.
Okay, fair enough. I thought it was after the censors got their hands on it.
No. So yeah, the censors had to watch this.
Brilliant.
They split it across 2 days, given its full length. Shackleton has admitted he hasn't watched it in full himself.
Great. I love that. I love a little art prank. Why not?
And they awarded it a universal rating.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
Which means no material likely to offend or harm. And it got his first... I suppose they had to watch it because they know he's a prankster.
Yeah.
He could have put Mary Whitehouse with 5 boobs in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. You bury that somewhere around the sort of 4 or 5 hour mark.
Yes, they've got to watch it.
No one's spotting it. You could watch it on fast forward. You know, like how some people listen to podcasts slightly sped up.
Yeah, how dare
or like
you.
audiobooks like that. I know, terrible. Give us the natural timbre of our voices, please.
I do that on audiobook, Because people talk too slowly.
I think the way it pitches the voice up slightly is too weird.
Do you think it pitches it up?
I feel like it does. I feel like you can hear the voice pitched up slightly.
But your wife has quite a high-pitched voice.
No, I mean the book she was.
No, I know, but so she's...
Oh, so you're right. Yes, yeah.
So she's
yes.
like...
She's like, oh, they sound... Yeah, that's right, yeah. That's true. She does have a high-pitched voice, yeah. She just feels right at home.
Is that because she's listening to those books?
Maybe that's what it is. What came first?
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, they could have. But what if they'd missed something? In a way, that's their most difficult job because they've got to... Anyway, they watched it. They gave it a U. It was then screened at the Queensland Art Gallery and Gallery of Modern Art in Brisbane, Australia between November the 10th and November the 29th, 2023.
Wow.
It's not the longest film done by the BBFC. That was a 1971 French masterpiece, Out One, which was 12 hours, 55 minutes and got a 15 for very strong language.
Wow. It was someone going, how long is this bloody movie going on for?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I think it's an awful job being a censor.
I wonder if you get desensitized to it after a while. Like if you've watched your sort of fourth video nasty of the week.
But most of them aren't even that, are they? Most of them are, is this a 12 or is this a PG?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, God.
There aren't that many video nasties out there. You must be really excited about the days when it's something you can sink your teeth into.
Yeah, oh, thank God I can ban something.
There's a brand new Cannibal Holocaust coming out. Fantastic. That's Thursday sorted.
So you're going to go back and revisit any of the video nasties?
Do you know what? I am tempted to get the definitive list and see if I can work through it.
Yeah.
I think, it'd be nice to feel something, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to really feel something visceral of an evening. Yeah. After a particularly tricky bedtime with the kids, going down and watching I Spit on Your Grave.
Well, thank you for joining me on this journey.
Thanks, Josh.
It's gone everywhere, but it's been an absolute joy. And I'm glad we live in a more progressive time.
Oh, absolutely. Here's to the permissive society.
That's it for this series of Archive of Pop Culture. Archive of Pop Culture is a Keep It Light media production hosted by me, Josh Widdicombe. Research by David Price and Emily Pickthall. Additional editing by Will Fitzpatrick and James Sheldon. Designed by John Gregory and music by Pickle and Button. Goodbye.